What's up? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing? Good?
Great.
Doing great, bro.
Good. We're ready for spring and nice weather.
That's good. I'm thinking I'm talking to myself here.
Hey, did anyone go to Dairy Queen and get their free cone today?
No.
Dairy Queen, they got free cones today?
On the March 20th, first day of spring, every year they give free ice cream cones.
Well, that's dope. I don't even
And
think it's a
it's like
Dairy
the
Queen
big cone,
around.
it was only like $1. So I don't know. My husband took my girls.
That's dope. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Oh,
How
I know.
everybody else doing before we get started? That's good. That's good. All right. So hope y'all having a blessed day. Um, kind of wanted to go over because I feel like a lot of people been asking me the same questions. First, starting out, I don't really answer the DMs. I don't see them. I don't get notifications for DMs on the Discord channel. So if y'all have anything like I was actually going through the DMs right before this, and a lot of y'all asked me questions that, you know, to me, it would be better if you post them in the questions tab or the EDB Academy. So we all could get the answer to the question, because a lot of the questions that you guys send me are, mainly public questions that, maybe if I answer it publicly, somebody else can learn from that question as well. All right. So unless you have something that's like personal, I would say DM me, but I probably won't get to it until, I don't check the DMs like that on Discord. But post in the group so we all could, see it when I answer the question. You could also tag me if you want, like, me to answer it personally, directly, but post it in the group so we all could learn from your question, because your question could maybe help somebody else out. All right. So if you do have a question in the DM that I didn't get to, just post it in the academy. All right. Now, another thing, we've been having a lot of traction lately. Shout out to, not sure if she's on here, but Makisha. I believe that deal should be closing today. I'm gonna reach back out to the title company tomorrow to double check to see if the seller, sent over the closing documents. But that was one that me, Makisha, and Brandon got together. Uh, we actually had another one that we had to cancel due to turtles, but at least we got that one going, and that's gonna potentially close. Got a couple more other deals going with you guys. So just continue to send the deals to this ClickUp. So for the new people that's coming in, that's not too sure, where to send deals, or if they get a deal, what to do, just go to the EDB Builders criteria, this form right here, click it. All right. So JB partner name, put your name, email, owners, anything that's red dot, you have to fill out. If you get the property owner's email, that's always best. To put the address here, you don't really have to put the APN or anything like that. Lot square foot, you don't have to really put that because I'll see that once I, look up the lot. Usually if you get a lot, I don't want it to be under contract. The reason being is because I may have to put my builder's terms that I work with for the area that you guys are focusing on. So just make sure that you have a price. If you don't have a price, I'm probably not going to answer the email because I'm not just going to, do the work for you in terms of like what to offer and stuff like that. We have enough training videos on how to make offers, how to look up pricing, and then you can also offer, lower cash comps in the area. So if you don't have a price, I'm probably not going to email it back just because, I'm going through deals all day through my own business. So if I'm making offers for you too, and the seller wants $1 million, that means, I'm just wasting time. So make sure you always give a price. And then once you and the seller either verbally or text message agree on a price, then I would say send it over, but do not get it under contract just because your terms may be way different than my builders, and then they may not go through because of that. All right. Also, seller's asking price, put the seller's asking price because that lets me know, what price we have to be at. And then any additional notes. So if you speak to the seller, like give me some context on the conversations that you guys had. Because it might be a seller where I may have to call them, to either close it out, and if you guys give me some type of details, they live in New York, they live by the water, something, then I could reference it, when I'm speaking to the seller, and I could build rapport with the seller to ensure us that we get the deal under contract so we could both close on it. So that's another thing. If you don't, because a lot of times, not a lot of times, but sometimes when you guys send deals, the sellers still have doubts, right? They're not too sure. They don't, it could be any reason, right? So I may have to lock it up. So when you guys give me a couple more additional details, it just makes it easier for me to have that conversation with the seller so we could still, get the deal closed. In those cases, we'll still work out a 50-50 because you're bringing a lead and stuff like that, but just make sure that you give me some type of leeway so I'm not just like in the blind. All right. And then you'll submit it, it'll come to me. And then, like I said, if you filled out all this information, you got a seller's asking price and everything, it's not under contract, then I will get back to you to let you know if it's a deal or not, and then why it's not a deal. A lot of times what I've noticed uh is you guys will get land that is not next to any houses. So that's like rule number one. You want to make sure that your land is on a block that they're at least developing on, because if they're not developing on it, it's going to be really hard to find a builder or a buyer in those areas. All right. They want to be in areas where it's already development going on. So that's what I wanted to let you guys know. Now, in terms of the areas, I know I post this builder's criteria last month or this month per se. He hasn't been looking at much, right? He filled up in the Point Siena area, but he's still looking in the Port St. John area. So I didn't get many submissions. I know I got one from what's the name? Sherilyn. She got a possible, package deal, but the seller didn't sign yet. So whenever you guys are looking, make sure you stay in these areas, right? The areas that I post on a monthly basis, you should have leads already in these particular areas lined up. So you could possibly get a deal or two with me in these areas. Now, like I said, these are to me like the primary markets in, let's say, Florida. So you guys, every single one of us should be like at least searching in these specific markets just to have leads. So when the prices go up, that at least one of us get the deal. Because prices do go up in these specific areas on a month-to-month basis. Sometimes it be one area that goes up, sometimes two, sometimes three. But now that I've seen what's happening with the game is a lot of lots are starting to be built up in these specific areas. So unless the builders are selling the inventory, which most of them aren't, they're building. So now it goes back to what I said about like Bitcoin, right? the supply is getting lower, the scarcity. So that's when prices are going to naturally go up. So I'm not sure when these prices are going to like really shoot up, but they are possibly soon. What I think is during the summertime, that's why I tell people like the best time to be in this land business is now, actually, January. So you already have your systems going, you already have some leads, you already have the conversations, because summertime is usually when I make the most amount of money. Like spring, summer, and then somewhat fall, and then it slows down usually for winter. If I could get a couple thousand in the winter months, I'm always grateful. But, spring, summer is when I make those 60, 80, K months in this business. So if you guys could potentially get to that high, or even making, 20, your first 20, 30, 40K month, that's usually going to happen within these next 5 to 6 months. All right. So this is where I tell you guys, really lock in on this business like right now, because this is where the price goes up, and then you already have those conversations with every single one of us. We're gonna get leads where, hold on, my internet's messing up, so give me a second. I want to make sure y'all all get this. We're gonna get those leads that may be a little bit too high. So let's say you get a Spring Hill lot, right? I'm just using this as an example. Let's say you have a conversation with a seller and they want 73,000, right? Obviously, we can't do it because the builder is at 70. But you building that rapport with the seller, you reaching out to her, on a every 2 week basis. Sometimes I want y'all to even reach out to these sellers and not even talk about the land. Just ask them how they're doing. Sellers love that, especially if you're talking to, ladies, right? Women, older women. If you just call up and just check up on them, they used to love when I used to do that, right? So start doing that. Start building a relationship with these sellers. So when the pricing goes up, they know you. You want them to know you. Even though we all are probably marketing in these same areas, if they build rapport with you and the pricing goes up and they're around the price that you could do, you will get that deal. And that's how you're gonna make that, $8,000 or $10,000 deal. All right. So in these specific areas, I want y'all to already have, your leads lined up. Follow up every week or 2 weeks, build that rapport. And then once we catch it on April 7th, when the builder sends the criteria, and you see that area goes up where you have a potential deal, I want you to reach back out and let the seller know, like, now, we're at your desired price, and we could do that. And then we'll move forward with that. So that's how you guys can make, just how I think y'all can make an easy 30K with just me by just focusing on these areas, building rapport with sellers, and then waiting until the pricing goes up. I feel like each one of y'all could make at least 30K just off of just doing that in these specific areas. Now, you don't want to just rely on that too. This is just like a baseline. This is like a layup. Think of it like basketball. You got the layups, you got a mid-range, and you got a three-pointer. So think of this as the layups. This is going to be the main markets that you're going to look at. You're going to already have your leads in your back pocket. You're going to follow up, and then you want to focus on the mid-range now. The mid-range would be like the secondary markets. So I know I'm just talking about Florida now, but you can honestly, like I said, do this almost anywhere. Right now, I'm looking at Arizona, and we got a potential, you know, 20, 30K deal over there. Might be a little bit more. And we just pulled that list last week. So, like I said, you could do this anywhere. But we mainly focus on Florida. A lot of you guys are new in this, so I like to teach Florida. And the reason why I like to teach Florida is because with Florida, it's a lot easier. They're less lenient with the laws, and that means that we could, list it on the market with a realtor. So right now, I have multiple deals that I'm working with a realtor on, uh, that got buyers for me, right? So a lot of these areas that I be telling you guys could start looking, make offers based on cash comps. And if you get it for around the cash comps, even if we don't have a particular buyer criteria for it, where a buyer gives us a price, how many lots they're looking for, or the square footage, if you bring it to my ClickUp, I analyze it, I may say this might be a deal that we could list on the MLS and work with a realtor. And yes, you'll probably make a little bit less because we got to pay the realtors, of course. But it's not like we have to pay them thousands of dollars. I usually give them a 2% flat fee of the sale price. So that's not that much. It usually be around, at most, that I usually pay a realtor is under $1,000. Usually be around, around like 400, 500 sometimes. And then depending on how big the deal is, they get paid more. So I want y'all to start looking in these different areas, right? And if you don't know what to offer, let me just use one as an example. And this goes for all of us, right? And then another thing, the people that send the most submissions over, that's actually doing the work and stuff, I'm gonna just start sending y'all lists. I already sent a couple of y'all lists, even though we didn't get nothing from it. I'm seeing that some of y'all are actually doing the work, sending the submissions through. You're getting better by, learning the different areas based off of my responses. So the more you do that, the more lists I'm gonna just send you. And we could potentially close deals like that, where you don't have to really spend the money for the marketing, because I already have lists in all these different areas in Florida. Every single area. I marketed I probably closed the deal in almost every county in Florida, right? Maybe not every city yet, but almost every county in Florida. So, like, we have buyers everywhere. We have realtors everywhere. So if you ever, like, you don't want to just, like I said, stick to the main markets that we already have. You want to start looking into these different markets. You might catch a deal in Edgewater, Florida, and even though you may not have a buyer per se, well, let me say Port Orange real quick. Let me just put my seller filters real quick. Go back to Port Orange. And let's just use a random lot. So this lot right here, right? Let's say you wanted to make an offer. Let's just say you pulled the list in Port Orange, Florida. You don't have a builder, but you like, you know what? I'm gonna listen to Eli for once, and I'm gonna just give an offer to these people based off of cash comps, right? First thing you want to do, like I show you guys, property class vacant land. You want to go to cash buyers. Those are usually the green dots. This lets you know that they paid cash for it. So with this one, I'm gonna bring the date to December, and it gives you these two lots. So right off the bat, I know they both sold on the same day. So this price may be if you divide it by two, because they probably bought both of these lots for the same thing, right? But I could be wrong. Let me see if it's the same buyer. So I want to check if it's the same buyer, but I also want to check the assessed value for both lots. So it might not be the same buyer because it was a individual buyer. We got the assessed value at 21,000. Let's see what the other lot, Lafayette. All right, so it was the same buyer. So it might be just an additional to the lot. So that's the Lafayette one. Let's see, this is. So this may be a bad example because I don't even know what they're trying to do with these two lots. So let's just find another lot. I mean, in this case, if I was offering this person 45,000, they bought it for. Let's see what the assessed value is. 39.40. I would probably offer him 40,000, to be honest. I mean, they listed it last year for 70,000. It didn't really sell. I know it says 1 day on the market, but it probably was around 30 or 40 days. Like I said, sometimes Propstream doesn't always update everything. So yeah, so for this one, I'll probably offer around 40, maybe a little bit more, maybe around 50, or and see what the seller says. Because I know if that seller bought those two for 205, right? Those two lots, then I'll probably reach out to that seller, to be honest, and see how much he would pay for this one, depending on what the seller wants for this lot, and see if they will buy it, right? So that's just in that case. But let me go back and use a different lot for an example. Mind you, this is a random area as well. This is water lot. These usually be harder because some areas builders don't even like water lots, but some areas, these go for high end. So it just depends on the area. So let me just use a different one. I'm gonna use one that we would typically look at. All right. So let me look at comparables. So we're gonna go to vacant land. Nothing comes up when you click vacant land. So in this case, like I said, I'm gonna look at the assessed value, 162. See how much they listed it for, 325. It was on the market for 62 days before they canceled it. So maybe they will possibly take less. But let's look at neighbors. I want to see what the neighbors lots sold for, because that will give me some type of uh details on what I could possibly offer. Sometimes the ones that usually be, so 7 is a lot bigger, but let's see what this one sold for. So 300,000 in 2021. It's probably 20,000 or 10,000 square feet, compared to this one's probably around 5,000 square feet. So, just based off of that, let's see, this one sold for 2023. That's multifamily. Let's go to vacant land real quick. Yeah, so this one sold for 300. So I know I have to be definitely over, 100K for this one. So let's see if I can find another one that is somewhat similar within the last, let's see, number 2 real quick. So number 2 would be, I mean, this one's huge too. Let's see how big this one is. 10,000 square feet. So for 160 more. So honestly, I'll probably be somewhere in the high 200s for this one. High 200s for this one, depending on what the seller says. And this will probably be one of those lots that we list on the market. Let's see, date range. Let's just go back. And the reason why I'm going back is because I want to see at least what sold within 2020. within the last year or two, because these is close to the water. All right, so that's a house now. So these will be the only two, the ones closest to it. 1 and 2. What's the 2? So 2 would be closer at 350,000, 8,000 square feet. So yeah, I'll probably be somewhere around this price. And even though it's 2 years, so it might be worth more, but if you could get it for around 350 or 300, this sold for 350 in 2023. So pricing definitely went up. So if you could get it for the high 200s, low 300s, this might be a property we could put on the market and a retail buyer may want it, with a realtor. So this is where I say, don't just look for the lots that we talk about, right? Remember, I told you, these are the layups. These are our layups. This would be our 3-pointer. All right. Where's that lot at? This would be our 3-pointer. This is where we're probably going to get a great deal on the MLS, listing it with a realtor. Listed will probably, if we sold it for 350, what's 2% of 350? We'll probably have to give them more. Because a lot of times, another trick that you guys could start doing too, if we ever do get an MLS deal together, what I've noticed is if you put a flat fee of like 10,000 or 15,000 with a price like this, and it's a smoking deal, but you may not have a buyer, a realtor will go extremely hard to get that 10 to 15,000. So they will find a buyer for your deal. But let's just say 0.02. So if we sold it for 350, this lot, and we put it on the market with a 2% commission to the realtor for finding a buyer, that would be 7,000. So that would probably be nothing if you could get it for, the right price, depending on what the seller will agree. But I'm just using this as an example because no builders will probably, not saying no builders, but a builder probably won't buy this. This is not like a builder lot. This is like a retail buyer that's gonna, buy from New York that wants a house close to the water, and they're gonna put a custom home on this house. On this lot. So I don't want you guys just to think, oh, I just have to do. I don't want y'all to limit yourself to just these markets. I want these markets to be your baseline, your foundation. Think of this markets that I post on a monthly basis as your foundation. Now, as you're trying to grow your land business, you want to also start looking in multiple different other markets as well. And I put a list here. You could start looking in these different areas, right? And then you could also, I posted this too. So this is another builder that I have that, you guys, I know Palm Coast, they may want a little bit more, Palm Bay, he's paying way less than my original buyer. But Sebastian, they're paying 5,000 more in Sebastian, right? Compared to my other buyer. Port St. Lucie, they low. Okeechobee, which will probably be a good area because I know most people aren't focusing on that. This is where you could send me, deals. Poinciana, they didn't say full utilities on this, so you know, but I know they don't want nothing they want stuff that's by a house at least. I'm not sure exactly their qualifications because I never send them anything in Poinciana yet, but would be probably something you're looking for, right? Same thing with the Marion Oaks lots. You know, they're looking at Marion Oaks, Silver Spring Shores, for these pricing. So you want to also look in these different areas as well. And not saying you're just using these two buyers or these two criterias, but these are just the areas that I want you to focus on. So you have your main markets would be your layups, your foundation would be, which would be this, but also have secondary third markets, which would probably be on this list, right? This would be your secondary and your third markets on this list. And even if you do not have a price, this is why it's important for you guys to get REI cash. The reason why I say that is because let's say you pull a list for Port Orange, for example. When you send out your text messages, you're gonna get these people asking, what price do you want? Or they're gonna say, when you send out your text messages asking what price they want, they're gonna ask you right back, what price are you offering? Or they're gonna give you a price. With having REI cash, it gives you the time to do exactly what I just did. It gives you the time to look at the lots in the area. It gives you the time to see what to offer by looking at the neighboring lots, looking at cash comps. So this area didn't really have cash comps, but that's when I checked the neighbors to see what sold within the past 2 years to judge it based off of that, right? And now you could give this person, hey, we'll offer you 300 or 325. And if they agree, right? Because remember, they don't know what it's worth. If you can't find cash comps that's recent, they can't find it either. So they're going to go based off of what sold in the past, which would probably be one of these two. And even if they wanted, let's say 375, that doesn't necessarily mean what we can't do that. Remember, this sold for 350 2 years ago. So this lot, if they wanted 375, it might sell for 400 or 450 or 500 on the market. So don't doubt yourself either. What I would say is, send it to my deal submission. I'll look it over. And then, even if we have to put it on the MLS, this might be the strategy. And I'm just using this lot as an example. This might be the strategy where we put, if you find a buyer for this, we'll do a $10,000 flat fee. So now these buyer agents that have the network in this local area, they're going to reach out to all the people that they know to find a buyer for that lot because they know they're getting $10,000. And even though we take a little hit, we still probably sell it for, 50,000 or 60,000, and we make 20, 30K, splitting it down the middle with each other. So this is where I want you guys to think a little bit, not just think the layups, but think your mid-range shot and your three-pointers too, because there's lots all over Florida. There's land all over Florida, and there's sellers all over Florida. Now, another thing I wanted to tell you guys, because I know a lot of you guys aren't doing it, right? And this goes to direct mail, you know, direct mail. This is where I think you guys should start doing direct mail too. And let's say you don't have a big marketing budget for direct mail, just shorten your filters on Propstream. So let's say I was looking at Port Orange. And I'm giving y'all a lot of gems tonight, man. I hope y'all actually, you know, use what I'm telling y'all. Cause I feel like it should be way more submissions in the deal submissions than there already is. And you guys are doing good. I'm not saying that, we got some deals closing with y'all and we got some motion, but I feel like we should be doing way better. It is so much opportunities. It's so much opportunities in this land game, but we're just limiting our mind. I'm telling you, it's like, how they say we use like 10% of our brain. We're using 5% of our land opportunities. You get what I'm saying? Like, We should be closing deals non-stop together. It should be a JV deal closing almost every other day. You know, we may not get that to this year. We might get it this year, but definitely by 2026, we still stay working, we stay, consistent. We could start doing that where it's closed deals closing almost every day or every other day. It's possible. It's a lot of land that gets sold in Florida every single month. We're doing the direct to seller marketing. We are the most important people in the transaction. We're the ones that put the deal together. So if we start thinking like that, we'll start getting a lot more deals. So let's say 165. So already off my regular filters, this is already a good list to direct mail. It's gonna cost you maybe 160, 170. But let's use a bigger area. Uh does anybody have a specific area that's not common in Florida that they want me to look up real quick? You could put it in the chat if you don't want to say nothing. And I'll answer your questions in the chat in a few.
They do Vera Beach.
Vero Beach. So let's say Vero Beach, right? Regular filters, there's 1,000 records. So if you don't have $1,000, you probably wouldn't want to direct mail this. If you do have $1,000, I probably wouldn't even suggest you to just direct mail. If that's your last 1,000 and you was putting it, because now you're gambling, right? Now, if you have, let's say, 5 to 10,000 in your bank and you want to, start doing direct mail, I would probably suggest you to do this. Uh, just because I know a lot of people aren't sending mail out compared to texting and cold calling. All right. So what I like to do, and I've been telling you guys this, I always text first. Then after my texting, I text the list, once or twice. Then I go to cold calling, right? I'll even send you guys a couple lists after I notice that you guys cold called the list a couple times, or I cold called, or whoever cold called. And once I notice it's been cold called a couple times, that's when I export it to now send direct mail. But let's say you wanted to skip the texting and cold call, and let's say you work a job, you got 2 jobs, you got kids, you don't got time to cold call, you don't got time to text. This is where you're gonna just send the direct mail. So we're gonna use Vero Beach as an example. Now, you're gonna use the regular filters, right? So for the new people, I just want to show y'all vacant land, property details, freaking UFOs. Residential vacant land general, MLS status, we want to click no. Owner's information, we want to do individuals and trust, right? Years of ownership, we want it to be at least minimum 7 years. This means that they owned it for at least 7 years or more. So it's not no people that bought it in 2023 or 2024 that's looking to sell because they're not going to sell for a discount, more than likely. Right? Now, what I will want y'all to do, if you want to get the filters a little bit lower, so now that this direct mail piece that you're going to send out is more affordable, click out of state. Right? So now when you go to out of state, it's 192 people. So now this is 192 people that live outside of Florida, but own land in Florida. They have no connection to this land. So these might be the people, depending on your marketing budget, that you want to reach out to. Now, let's say you don't have $192, but you still want to send mail. Then you want to go to liens. Then you want to include tax liens, right? Let's see the filter. All right, nothing came up for tax liens. Um, let's see. Pops up. I'm gonna take that off. You know, Propstream, they be updating, so things be looking different. So let's go to include. See, I don't know why it's taking it off already. I don't like that. So now that means let's just select all, see what pops up. No. All right. Exclude. Propstream. You gotta just play with the filters. Propstream used to be so different, man. Come on, bro. Let's just see what comes up. So this is what I'll probably do. You know, unfortunately, Propstream be acting a little bit different now. They used to just have tax lien, like how it used to be where you click include or exclude, but it wasn't like this before. You just click tax lien and then it will drop the list. But for this, I would just put a low year, let's say 1990, and this lets me know that these people are behind on taxes. So this out of this 30, these are absentee owners and they are behind on their taxes. So if you have a small marketing budget, you don't have time to do this business because you work a job, or you might just be lazy. Let's keep it 100, right? You might not want to text or cold call people. You just, a lazy individual. Some of us are just lazy. Let's keep it a stack, right? This is a way that you guys could still potentially get something, by sending direct mail. Now, with mail, they give you multiple different options. You could send handwritten letters that they would manually do for you. So let's just check out a couple of those, right? Let's go to all templates and it will look like this, right? Now, under here, let's just say, boom. Let's go back real quick. Now you could send postcards, which is usually the cheaper option, right? Let's say you have a small marketing budget and you want to check out the postcards. And you got to think, which one would you, answer to as well, right? They give you multiple options, just listed, all different ones. You could do street view postcards. This is what I would like suggest you guys to do. But like I said, I don't want y'all to have the same marketing as me. So if you're gonna do the street view postcard, pick an area that you think I'm probably not in, so we're not sending the same, direct mail. And then what you do is, pick one of these options. I usually do type, go to black, white, And this works almost everywhere too. Now you want to put no for this because that just means honestly, it depends. It depends. This is important too that I want you guys to pay attention to. This lets you know that let's say you texted, cold call the list, and now you're on your direct mail part, right? Let's say you didn't do the lazy route, you texted, you cold called, and now you're on your direct mail part. You want to click yes on this because everybody that doesn't get your mail, this means nobody could reach out to them. So now you have to strategically find out how you could get in contact with these people when they send you the mail back. So what yellow letters does is they send you the mail back to everybody that they couldn't deliver to. So it might be only around under 10 people. Those 10 people are the people you want to find out how you could get in touch with, whether it's on LinkedIn, Facebook, reaching out to relatives on True People Search. But if you do the extra due diligence to find those people, they might be your best deals ever. This is where you might get those 50, 60K deals, to be honest. Because now these are the people that nobody could reach out to, right? They couldn't get mail, they couldn't get texted, and they couldn't get cold called. So that's where I would say yes to that. But if you're taking a lazy approach and you just send in direct mail, which is okay, y'all. I don't want to say like the lazy approach is bad, right? Because you might run up six figures just doing it this way. And while we all texting and cold calling, you going the lazy route, but still getting deals because it still costs money. So don't just think that I'm saying just because it's lazy doesn't mean it's not efficient. This might be probably the best method right now. And while we're all doing the hard work, you getting deals by working smarter, not working harder, right? So uh but if you're doing it straight where you're not texting, cold calling, I wouldn't click yes for this option just because that doesn't mean that somebody couldn't text them or cold call them. All right. Do you want to get your return mail list automatically after 7 days? Same thing with this, the undelivered. Me personally, I would click yes, because even though it costs you $49, you may make a 10K deal by spending this extra $49. So just think about that. Opportunity cost is important too. When do you want your mail to be sent? I usually click ASAP. It'll give you the dates. How much do you want to go out? I'll say mail all at once. And then what I'll put here is, put my phone number, blah, 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 blah. And then put my email and then say, if you want to offer, please text or email me. This will give you time to look up the lot instead of them just calling you, right? You put the order name, let's say it's Lehigh Duplex, and then you'll drag your list down here that you sort out. When you're doing a list for direct mail, it has to be a CSV file. So just turn that Excel to CSV. And then also you have to have the address. So you have to add the address, city, state, and zip code of the lot. But you also have to have the seller's mailing address, mailing city, mailing state, mailing zip code. So for example, let's say you was uploading a list to just do direct mail, right? I'm gonna just pick a random area. So let's say I was gonna direct mail this area. I have to make sure it has all of this, right? So this is what it will click. So I'll click actions, not actions, sorry. You'll click custom layout, this right here, this edit column. Hope y'all paying attention to this. And you wanna have address, city, state, zip code. You want to have the owner's first and last name, and then you want to have the mailing address, mailing state, mailing city, mailing zip code. You apply this, and then you'll export this. You'll sort this out that just came, you just downloaded by putting it in the right column. So it'll be first name, last name, address, city, state, zip code, and then mailing address, mailing state, mailing city, or state, mailing city, mailing zip code. And then you'll upload that CSV file here, and then you'll send out that direct mail. All right. So I gave you guys a couple things that I want you guys to start doing, depending on where you're at in your land journey, and depending on your marketing budget as well. But if you guys are using REI Cash and you're sending out text messages and you're sending out cold calls, please, please, please send out some direct mail. Just try it, right? And if you're gonna direct mail, uh, and you're gonna use the way I just showed you guys, I wouldn't say direct mail those main markets I showed you guys, the layup line markets, the foundation markets, because I'm already sending those type of mailing out there. So I don't want the seller to get the same type of mail. But if you're looking in these secondary, these third markets, send out those mails. Send out, if you're looking in Arizona, send out those mails. If you're looking in Texas, send out those mails. All right. With that I just showed you with the postcard with the street view. Because it might lead you to a nice payday. All right. Also, do not just settle with the foundation markets that we already posted. And I'm gonna get to y'all questions in a few. I just want to emphasize on this. Do not settle on just those markets that I post. Also, look in the outskirts of Florida, of the outskirts of those markets, because those might be deals too. And then the last thing I want to say is to look at those markets, the layup line markets, and make sure that you follow up with those sellers every week or 2 weeks. And do not just talk about the land. Actually build a relationship with these sellers, because that is the one who's going to get the deals and close a lot of JV deals with me. All right. So now I'll answer some questions. Ricky, I see you have your hand up, so you could talk before I get to the questions in the chat. Ricky, if you wanted to talk, you could unmute your mic.
Oh, my fault. Uh, when you selling out those mailers, do you follow like a script somewhere where you put it in the yellow letters HQ?
So that's a great question. So with the yellow letters HQ, they already have like a mailing script for you. So they automatically put that.
Okay,
But before you send it, they'll ask for like proof. And if you want to change anything, you could do that. But they already have a script for you.
oh, that's perfect. Okay,
All
thank you
right.
for that.
No problem. Do you have any advice on how to build rapport and check in with sellers? Great question, Melissa. So, based on the conversations that you have with the sellers, especially if you're cold calling, they're always going to say something that you could potentially, elaborate on or, build off of. So, like, I always use location. So, if I see that they live somewhere on the other side of the US because you do absentee owner, like if they live in Vegas, I'll talk about, my Vegas trip, or, how they like Vegas, things like that, right? So just go based off of things that you could talk about with the sellers that's outside of land. So me personally, I always love location, because most sellers don't live in Florida that own land in Florida. They live somewhere else. and I always, build off of that. And that would be my baseline. But it could be anything. The seller, a lot of these sellers, especially the older ones, y'all, they be talking. They will chew your ear off, but they will give you all the information you need to know. So the next time you call them, you could just go right into that conversation. That's why I love when you guys give me like good details when you're sending a lead through the submission, is because now when you give me good details and I call that seller up, I already know their life story. So I could just pick up right where you left off. And now they feel more comfortable to work with us because we're listening. It's important to listen. Do you recommend staying away from highly competitive markets like Lehigh Acres, Palm Bay, Palm Coast, and focus on your builders areas in those secondary markets? That's a good question too. Nah, so I would say stay in those markets because when those markets go up, you already have builders, you already have buyers in those areas. The thing with those markets is you have to be unique. You have to do something different than what everybody else is doing. So you may have to send mail out in those markets. You may have to follow up with sellers that aren't too high, but they're a little bit too high now. Because just because they're high today doesn't mean that they're high based on the market in July, right? So let's say a seller wants 25,000 in Lehigh Acres, which may be high right now in the market. But July, the market may go up to 35 or 40K, right? It might not, but it might. And because now the market's at 35, 45 or 40K, and you build rapport with that seller because you was calling them every 2 weeks just to check in with them, just to see how they're doing, just to, they might tell you something that allows you to check up with them every 2 weeks. Now you build a relationship with them. So now when they're ready to sell, they may call you back, Marcus. They may reach back out to you and like, hey, Marcus, I was just calling because I've been getting calls about this land and people been, offering me. I've, built a relationship with you. So I just wanted to see if you guys were at a higher price now before I move forward with somebody else. Right? Those are the conversations that you want with these vacant land owners, where they build their trust with you rather than somebody that brand new just came in the game, just bought my course, just marketed to Lehigh Acres, and caught the market when the market went up, right? Because that seller will go with that person too. A lot of people, that has happened over the last 2 to 3 years since I've been teaching this game, where people will get their first deal. Perfect example. The deal I closed 2 deals this at the end of this month on the 31st. This girl literally, y'all, she just got started in this game uh last month. She hit me up on Instagram, was like, Eli, I love what you're doing, da da da. Where you market to? I'ma just, cold call. I'ma just true people search. I seen you talking about it on your free class. I told her, I'm just like, because I get that a lot, right? So I'm like, I'm looking at Spring Hill, you know, this amount of price. Literally, the next day she hits me up. Yo, I gotta sell it for 60,000. We locked it up, able to sell it for 70. We have that one closing the 31st. She hits me up the next day, no, probably 2 days after that. I got another seller. That one's 67. Locked it up, selling that for 70 as well. And we got 2 deals for 13,000. And the reason why she got those 2 deals is because other people didn't follow up with that seller, and the market went up 10,000 in Spring Hill from 60 to 70,000. So she was able to scoop in and get 2 deals for 13,000 working with me just because she came in at the right time and, somebody else didn't follow up. So if y'all was following up with those sellers that wanted 60,000 when the market was at 50, or when my buyer was paying 60, and they wanted 60,000, so you couldn't do nothing with it. When my builder went to 70,000, y'all was supposed to get that deal, or somebody. I'm not gonna say y'all, but somebody else was supposed to get that deal. She wasn't supposed to get that deal, but because somebody else didn't follow up, she was able to sneak in and get her first 2 deals within 3 days of doing this business. And that happens all the time. It just so happens that, I'm JVing with her, but I don't like when that happens. Even though I love that, I'm happy she got her first 2 deals quick. But I'm like, nah, there's people that's really putting in blood, sweat, and tears in this game and probably still didn't get their first deal yet. And she was able to just sneak in and get 2 deals right away. But that lets you know the importance of following up. So if you stay in these layup areas where I say a layup is because I already have the builders lined up. We already have the prices. We already know how many lots they're looking to buy in a month. And they post those areas every single month, except for this month, unfortunately. But those are the layup areas. If you guys were following up with your sellers in these layup areas, you would make some layups. Everybody could take an extra $2,000, an extra $3,000 on top of what you're doing for your 9 to 5. Y'all could be doing that every single month with me if you would just follow up with the sellers in these layup areas. All right. I'm gonna answer some more questions. How do we keep sellers on the line to submit for next month's submission? How do we not disappear from them when we have a seller at a price that might be better for the next month? You know what I mean? So that goes back to what I said. How about you call a seller and based on that first or second conversation you had with them, how about the next time you call them, you don't even call them about their land? Call them just to, check up on them. Hey, John, I was just reaching out, just to check up on you. I know you said you lived in, let's say, Wisconsin. I heard that there was a, terrible snowstorm or something. Just wanted to make sure that you was okay. You know how good that would feel? When people was calling me randomly from the hurricane that we had in Florida, that made me feel good. Like, damn, you care about me? You get what I'm saying? So, and that's just an example. You got to kind of figure out what, based on the conversation you have with the seller, what to say to them, where you talking not even just about the land, but you're building a relationship. All right. Hopefully that answered your question. I was searching Propstream last night. I was confused about filters also. Yeah, use the filters I just posted tonight. Can you replay this live? I believe I'm recording. Yeah, I'm recording. It's lit. This was a good live. Do you have any advice on how to find hard to find numbers? Mail. What's some ways to get creative to find the hard ones? Damn, Melissa, you trying to get all my gems. You gotta pay for mentorship, beloved. But do you have any advice on how to find hard numbers? Man, there's a service called skipgenie.com. It costs $65 a month. If you got the money, I would say get that. And it's the highest level skip tracing that you could use. It also gives you dead relatives as well. So remember, I'm not sure if you was in this academy when the guy from Texas. Y'all remember I had a guy from Texas. I forgot his name. I did an interview with him. He does the ones with
Waleed.
Waleed. Yes, yes. Whoever said that. Thank you for paying attention. Waleed, he used skipgenie.com. When I first started, I used to use SkipGenie as well. I paid my mentor. This is when I was doing houses. Just giving y'all a little backstory on why this is important. I paid my mentor $5,000. This is the same mentorship me and Jazz was in. Uh, this wasn't even when we was doing land. This is when we was both doing houses at the time, right? This guy taught me 2 things. I always tell you he taught me one thing, but he actually taught me 2 things. that made that 5,000 is well worth it. And mind you, y'all, I never even got to speak to this person. Like his mentorship, we paid him 5,000, and then I only got to speak to one of his assistants. But he taught me two things from working with his assistant. They taught me the marketing, the texting, cold call, direct mail, the marketing funnels on what you have to do. What I basically tell y'all, text 2 to 3 times, cold call the list 12 times, and then direct mail. They taught me that. And then the second thing he taught me was skipgenie.com. Skip Genie is the highest level of skip tracing. So let's say uh you wanted to find a number, and it does individual skips too. So just like True People Search, if you have an individual seller that you're looking for, you could do that individual seller in Skip Genie, and it would give you that person's number, probably I would say 7 out of 10. And if it doesn't have that person's number, they give you relative numbers, they give you relative emails, they give you that person's email. Sort of like True People Search, but I would say like 4 or 5 times better. But it is costly because it is cost $65 a month. All right. Hopefully that helps. Eli, do you also mail contracts like Jazz with your letters? Nadia, great question. I used to do that, but I didn't get a deal doing it. I spent, about like $8,000 last year sending out mail all over Florida with blind offer letters, and I ain't make no money from it. So I'm like, nah, forget this. I ain't doing it. I'm going back to what I used to do. What I used to do when I used to make mad money on direct mail, I was using yellow letters. Yellow letters made me at least 250K within this business. My biggest deals came from sending out direct mail, actually. So uh I'm going back to what I used to do. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I don't know why I try to even change things, you know? But it's also good, like you gotta, I guess, let me rephrase my question. I try to change things because, as years go on, you want to get better. But sometimes if it was working in 2021, 2022, and 2023, and I want to change it because I'm seeing other people do blind offer letters and they're making money, that doesn't mean I should stop what I'm doing and pick up what they're doing, right? Because what I was doing was working. I tried to do what somebody else was doing, and I actually lost money. So sometimes it's better just to double down on what you're good at and just lock in and then just ride that wave. Uh, how would I get mentorship? I'll post a link after this call. If you guys want to join the mentorship program, uh, we'll book a call, and then we do calls every Wednesday. And then also, like, for the mentorship, I also do random calls throughout the week, like a Saturday or Friday night, where we just get work done now as well. So yeah. And then boom, so Skip Genie, got it, thank you. Boom, boom, boom. All right, y'all, this was a pretty good live. I hope I answered all y'all questions. If y'all do have more questions, let me know. But before we get off, I want to say I'm still doing the challenge for you guys. I want to be honest, I'm kind of disappointed in y'all. And the reason why I'm disappointed is because only one person got one affiliate into this program, which is Brandon. So the first person to 10 people on the affiliate, I will give $500 to. And what I'll also do, I'll also add in free mentorship. So if you could get 10 people into this program, into the EDB Academy on a monthly basis, I'll give you $500, and I'll do the mentorship for free for whoever gets to the first 10 people in the affiliate program. All right. So that's like what I really want you guys to focus on, because once you get, and this is why this is important. I don't want y'all to just do it for the prize, but just think of another stream of income, y'all. Affiliate marketing could pay your bills on top of the money that you make from land. So there's multiple ways to get money in this land business outside of just making money from flipping land. And this is why I'm trying to just open up y'all brain. A lot of you guys may be new, so I understand for the new people, but the ones that's been in this group for, let's say, 6 to 12 months now, I need y'all to understand. You are probably missing up on thousands of dollars because you are quiet, because you don't want to do the extra work. Affiliate marketing pays all of my regular bills and my virtual assistants. So now when I make money from land flipping or when I do JV deals with y'all, I just put that money straight into crypto. So now when the crypto markets go up, now it's like my bills is being paid on autopilot because affiliate marketing. The money I make from land is going into crypto for my investments. And now when crypto goes up, I'm just making money multiple different ways. So this is what I'm trying to teach y'all, even on a small scale. Because remember, I started right where you guys were as well. I was a mentee in somebody else's mentorship. When I was doing houses, and this is not that long ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I was dead broke. So if I could do it within freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, y'all could do this too. And some of y'all probably even had more money when I started. So to me, y'all even got like a head start. So sign up for our affiliate marketing program, right? I'll post a link after this call. I want every single one of y'all to sign up and start promoting what we're doing. Start, even if you have to record me on these calls, right? On your phone, put it on your story, and then post your link on Instagram. Somebody may hit you in a DM. Oh, what is he talking about? Oh, he's talking about land. You should join his program. It's $65 a month, and he's teaching us crypto. He's having Monday mindset calls. He's teaching land. He's teaching us how to use a CRM. He's also teaching us how to do affiliate marketing so we can make digital passive income. You should join. You always talking about you don't have this, you don't have this. Yo, join us. And for every person that you get to sign up, is $20 a month as long as they stay. So you get to 10 people. What is that? 20 times 10. That's $200. On top of the 500 I'm gonna give you, on top of the free mentorship that I'll add you onto our mentorship program for free for the people that aren't already in it. If you get to that 10 people first. But that's just off of 10 people. Now imagine if you get, within the next year or two, you get 20, 30, 40 people. And the way to do it is each one of these calls, you join the mindset call, post it on Instagram, post it on Facebook, on your stories, right? You close a deal, post your check online. I know we don't like showing how much money we got, but if I would told you, let's say you close a $2,000 or a $3,000 deal on the side of your regular job, you post it on Facebook, and now 10 people hit you up like, how'd you make an extra $5,000? And then you send them your affiliate link and then they join this program. On top of that $5,000 you made, you just made an extra $200 to $300 a month. You do that a couple times, now you making $1,000 just off of referring people, affiliate marketing people into this group. And then you're just building on top of that. And then you could start doing consultation calls once you got the game. Like, I'm literally giving you guys the blueprint. Think of all the people that came under me, that's now teaching, that's now, living in high rises, that made six figures. They didn't do it just from land. They did a lot of it from land, but then they branched out once they made six figures from the land business, or while they was, working their way up on closing deals. So this is the same thing you guys could be doing now. You're going to have to start small. You're going to have to plant that small seed into the foundation, and then you're going to just have to water it, water it, water it. Start posting content about land. Every single one of you guys should have an Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, because now this is how you're going to get your affiliate marketing to pay your bills. I'm telling you, once you get your affiliate marketing to pay your bills, life becomes 10 times easier, because now you're not worried about how you're paying this bill a month, how you're paying this bill a month. It's already on autopilot. You have digital passive income now without having to spend $100,000 to buy a house, and without having to deal with tenants for rentals. This is why I love digital money. This is why I be teaching you guys Bitcoin. Because who wants to deal with tenants? I don't want no rentals. Even though it would be cool, maybe in the future, sell some of my Bitcoin to buy rentals. Maybe not. I love digital money. I love working smarter, not harder. And this is what I'm trying to teach y'all. You may have to work hard on the ground level, but we all experience this. We're all adults now. We all understand we have to start small. We have to work hard, so eventually we could work smart. And that's what I'm trying to teach y'all with this affiliate marketing, with, working with me, with doing joint ventures in the group. If you guys have builders and you're not posting your builders criteria every single day in the EDB Academy, you're missing out on money. We closed over 30 JV deals last year. That's deals where I had to do zero marketing. I didn't have to spend not a dollar to get that deal, to make an extra 2,000, 3,000 from a deal. The two deals that girl just got, last month, that I'm about to make, somewhere around 4 to 5 to 6,000, whatever the thing is. I did not have to do any marketing for that deal to make 5, 6,000. This is the same opportunities you have in the group right now. Stop being quiet, stop being in the background, and start being loud in this group. Start being loud on your social media. Everybody and your mom should know what you're doing, even before you have a deal. You might inspire somebody that may be a cold caller for you, that may bring you a $10,000 deal. You get what I'm saying? I hope y'all listening. I hope you apply what I'm telling you, because you can have 7 streams of income working this business and become a 6-figure, 7-figure earner quicker than you even imagine. You could literally go from broke to making 6 figures in less than a year, just following everything I just said just now. All right? So I know y'all probably got a couple more questions. It's kind of getting late. I got to eat. But I hope y'all really, yeah, so Brandon just posted the link for the affiliate. I'm going to post that also in the group right now, so we all have it. So I want y'all all to sign up, because even though I love Brandon, I don't want to give him that 500. I want to give one of y'all the 500, right? And no shade to you, Brandon, but I want one of them to get it, right? So I need y'all to be just as loud as Brandon is. Because remember, Brandon was, before he became a EDB partner, we're doing the Monday Mindset calls, he was a student just like y'all. And now he became a partner. I don't want y'all to stay as students. I want y'all to be partners with me. And this is how we could become partners. All right, even while you're a student. So start being loud, start making content about land, start telling people what you're doing, even if you don't have a deal, get out of your shadow and you might inspire and you might help somebody. Ain't that what God want us all to do? Pass the information along, each one teach one.
That part.
You get what I'm saying? So let's do this now. So by next week, I want y'all, the goal for next week Thursday, I want every single one of y'all to at least have one person that you got signed up into the EDB Academy. All right. And like I said, the first one to 10, I will send you either $500, however you want it. You want dinar, you want Bitcoin, you want XRP, you want cash, you want pesos, however you want it, I'll send it to you. And then I also will put you into our mentorship for free. All right. So get to work, do the affiliate marketing, follow the steps I said here. If you don't have time, send out direct mail because you might find something. And y'all should be sending deals to that ClickUp form on a consistent basis. Telling you, if you're consistent, I will send you list in Florida. So yes, you may have to invest a couple hundred your first couple lists, but if I see you working hard, I will invest in you because you're investing in me. One hand wash the other, both hand wash the face. I love y'all. Have a good night. I'll put this recording on later.